Nation, let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys get those likes up. That means wipe them feet. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Green Dot Gang is heavy. Nada. Rose, I see all my guys, Dangerfield, James Bowles. Man, salute to all my guys. If you guys want to become members like my dogs, make sure you hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network, man. A lot to talk about today. We're definitely going to get to it here soon. Raiders are number one right now after a major loss to the New York Giants at Allegiant Stadium yesterday, man. We're going to talk about that. And some interesting strength of schedule situations that we're going to go over. Crazy as it is, the Niners winning last night actually helped the Raiders. We're going to go over that here in a second as well. But it looks as though the Raiders can no longer go anywhere lower from, I think, 1-2. I think that's where we are right now in the grand scheme of things, you guys. I don't believe that we can fall to 3. I think it's going to take a lot in order for that to happen. The Jets need a ton of scenarios in order to jump us. Even if we beat the Chiefs and the Jets and Giants lose, we still have the strength of schedule, I believe, over the Giants, I believe, right? But either way, I don't believe we can fall to 3 unless several scenarios fall into the Jets' hands. So we'll get over it here in a second. We'll talk about it. We'll go over every single thing, every single scenario for our Las Vegas Raiders, man. Salute to Raider Rock. Salute to Graphk. GOAT content. Can we get a Raiders for the number 1 pick? Salute to my guy, Raider Rock, 7985. Appreciate you, brother. Let me see. Salute to, man, everybody is deep in here. Hey, Los, we're not talking about that no more, brother. Said my piece yesterday. Keep it moving. That's what we're doing. Salute to my guy, Raider Bubba, in the building as well. We got to talk about this because I already see somebody here in the chat already complaining, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to highlight this before I end up just, getting dude out of here. But my brother in Christ, my brother in Raider Nation, Shady Business Jr., okay? Pathetic when I see Raider fans begging for losses. Turn in your Raider gear and choose another team. You're not built for this. So let me get this right, because I wanted to talk about this regardless. I'm seeing people getting attacked on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of people were flooding me and Hammers shorts, in the comments section. Oh, you guys can't believe you're rooting against your team, blase, blase, blah, blah, blah. I've been a Raider fan long enough to understand the severity of what we got going on. And VBZ, I'll definitely get rid of you too in a second, so it's all good. The thing is this. Went out. Beat the Giants. Beat the Chiefs. Going into next year again with Geno at, Smith at the quarterback position. Draft a safety probably at 7 or 8 or whatever the hell it was that we would have drafted, right? Cool. That's cool. Let me go ahead and get you out of here. Cornball. Boop, 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 boop. But yes, I am rooting against this team right now. Because guess what? There's nothing to root for. You're mad at the wrong people. You guys are mad at fans. Be mad at the Raiders for putting us in this situation. Simple math, you guys. You're mad at Raider fans for wanting to get their quarterback of the future potentially at the number 1 spot. And you're not mad at the Raiders? You're not mad at the Raiders. You're not mad at Years of mediocrity to now just the bottom of the barrel. This football is no longer enjoyable to watch, you guys. You're mad at fans? How are you mad at fans for rooting against this team in order to get better for the future of this team? This is literally the best situation if we fall into the number one spot that in decades for this ball club. We could potentially, and again, right? Every first round draft pick doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've been here before. Jamarcus Russell, cool. I get it. I understand it. We've been there before. It happens. Other teams have swung and missed as well. I am willing to swing and miss right now for Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore or whoever it is at the quarterback position. I don't really care what any of you guys think in terms of how we are as fans. You can never tell another fan how to fan. Simple and plain. Now, there are other things, right? You know, guys have two teams they root for. That's terrible, okay? It's Raider Nation or nothing. It's simple math right there with that one, okay? But you can't tell us to not be excited after going 2-14 right now, that we're one loss away from potentially securing the quarterback of our future. Are you kidding me? You want us to go out there and scream at the top of our lungs for this team to win? What are we talking about here? Y'all are killing me with this shit. It's just crazy to me. I love my team, dude. Love my team. I've said this a million times. My life revolves around this football team. I love this team so much, I made it my job to cover this football team. Don't tell me how to fan. Don't tell all the other guys in the nation that are rooting for us to lose these meaningless games in order to secure potentially our future, who is Fernando Mendoza at the number one spot. It's crazy to me. Y'all act like y'all haven't endured loss after loss after loss for the last how many years you've been fans. I've been a fan for 40 plus years. I've seen more losses than I've seen wins. I'm used to it. I can endure a couple more in order to go get the quarterback. Simple and plain. Y'all are watching, you guys are watching these other teams around the league right now. New England, Drake May. They're going into the playoffs right now. They win the division. You watched Jaden Daniels last year turn that thing around with the Commanders, go to the NFC Championship. You're watching Caleb Williams do great things out there with Ben Johnson in Chicago in year 2. I mean, the list goes on. We can continue to go down the list of young quarterbacks, Bo Nix out there with Denver doing his thing with Sean Payton. And y'all don't want that? You guys would preferably go out there and win 2 games that mean absolutely nothing and roll out the same roster next year? What in the fuck are we talking about? Y'all just let's win these next 2 games. Geno will be the guy, and we'll build the O-line up in the offseason, and we'll go into 2026 with Geno Smith, 35, 36 years old, as the guy. And we'll wait until 2027 to go secure our quarterback when people don't even realize the Jets have 3 first-round picks. 3 of them. 3 of them. 3 of them. 3. If they don't get a quarterback this draft, which honestly, they may not try to get one. They control the board next year. It's not so let me get this right. 2027. Let's just say we're going into the 2027 draft, you guys, right? We're going into next year's draft. And we're in this same situation right now. We don't have our quarterback. Are you guys going to complain that fans are pissed off, are pissed off that we're winning games in this same scenario? In this same scenario right now, if we're going into next year's draft, and we don't have our quarterback, CJ Carr, Sellers, potentially Arch, all those guys coming out in that draft class. Is it the same situation for you? Are you pissed off? What are we doing here, man? The Raiders have a plan. They're sticking to the plan. It does not matter if you're pissed, Max is pissed, whoever it is what it is. Tom and Spytek have a plan. They're sticking to it. We're going to lose some games that mean nothing at the end of the year. We're going to move on and potentially get our guy at number 1. So we're going to do this, you guys. We're going to do this, okay? This is the new thing here. This is the new thing here before I get to these supers. If we get Fernando Mendoza at 1 next year and he goes out there and balls and cooks, I don't want you guys that are screaming at us about lose, lose, lose. I don't want you to cheer on our quarterback. How about that? I don't want you to cheer Fernando Mendoza. If he goes on a generational run and turns this Raider team into a team that has sustainable success, you can't celebrate that. You can't celebrate that. Because again, you were calling all of us fake fans for wanting to lose 2 meaningless games at the end of the season that mean absolutely nothing. Nothing. So remember this. If we get that number 1 pick, if we lose next week or this week to KC at home, I don't want to see you rooting for Fernando Mendoza because you were rooting for us to win. And a win equals no Fernando Mendoza or no Dante Moore. So remember that. Just remember that. Remember that next year when we get our guy. Remember that. It's all good. It's all good. And once again, I'm not trying to tell you how to fan, but that's how I am going to approach the situation. That's how I'm going to approach this. You can't root for Fernando Mendoza. You wanted to win those meaningless games that meant nothing. Just remember that. Salute to Louis G. You the GOAT, Graphk. Nah, you the GOAT, man. Appreciate you, man, being a member for 16 months. My God, man. Salute to you, my brother. Salute to Nada. Something in the air in that night. Stars were bright. I know where you're going, Nada, with this one. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to Sean. Happy New Year's. Live in Eugene, Oregon. Duck fan. Dante equals the truth. Well, we're sitting here waiting, Sean, to see if he is going to declare because, again, we know how high the Raiders are on Fernando Mendoza, but we have not heard anything, at least up to this point, in terms of the Raiders being, interested in Dante Moore. I think if he declares, this whole draft gets turned upside down. And it's a really good thing for the Raiders because, again, if we end up at 1, we end up at 2, we're in a very, very good spot to go get whether it's Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. So either way, 1 more L and you have your pick of the 2. If Dante chooses to come out. I believe his backup, Sean, just hit the transfer portal. So I don't know if this is a situation where maybe he knows what's going on behind the scenes with Dante Moore. Maybe he's going to go back to school. There were a ton of rumors about him going back. Now there's tons of more rumors coming out that he's going to declare. We're going to watch this Texas Tech game very closely. If they lose, maybe he feels like, this unfinished business up there in Eugene. Who's to say, right? But again, I'll say this. If he ends up declaring, this is going to be a phenomenal opportunity for the Raiders, to go out there and get their signal caller. Because, again, you have the pick of the litter between Mendoza and Dante Moore, which is phenomenal. Salute to my guy, Josh, man. Whether we're fighting for a playoff spot or the number 1 pick, we still need some mathematical equations to help us. It is what it is. Salute, brother. Salute to my dog, man. Appreciate you, bro. As always. Appreciate you on a $5 smackaroonie. The easy math is this, Josh. Lose Sunday to the Kansas City Chiefs. If not, you're hoping that, the Giants beat the Cowboys and then the Jets beat the Buffalo Bills, which both are very, very tall tasks to ask for. The Jets have Brady Cook out there. They're trying to lose ball games right now. Buffalo coming off of a heartbreaker to Philly, missed a 2-point conversion, and Josh Allen had a wide open receiver, Shakir. That was nasty work. But now, New England won that division. I don't know if Buffalo is going to sit their guys and just get to prepare for the playoffs. I don't know. I haven't been keeping an eye on Buffalo like that. Got to keep it a buck with you guys. But look, just go out there and just play the way you've been playing at the end of the day. Look, we looked really good against the Texans, and then we came right back down to reality yesterday. And remember this as well, you guys. We're playing against the third string with Kansas City. Okay, cool. We got Kenny Pickett coming out there to potentially start against the Chiefs. And he looked absolutely abysmal against the Philadelphia Eagles. So it is what it is. Salute, man. Get those likes up, you guys. Wipe their feet, hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Salute to my brother Demon King in the building as well. Always good to see my guy. But remember, if you want to dictate how fans fan, don't get mad when fans flip that shit on you guys. If you want to be upset about us rooting against the Raiders these last few weeks, look, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm calling you out next year. Do not root for Fernando Mendoza. Simple and plain. Go root for Caleb Downs. Go root for Spencer Fano. Go, Arvell Reese, whoever it was that we're going to get if we won these two meaningless games. Go root for them. Don't root for the guy that took these 2 L's to get there. At the end of the day, just is what it is. I don't care, man. A lot of goofy shit on the internet. You know how many people I had to block on this channel today? I seen the short comments. I was like, oh my God, man, just blocking everybody. It's just ridiculous, man. At the end of the day, man, we're going to do what's best for this football team like they did. Sitting Brock, sitting Jeremy Chin, sitting Max Crosby. Dylan Parham, illness last minute. This is what you need to do in order to get this thing right. Name one football team out there right now that's winning, that's in the playoffs without a real, true quarterback one. Name one of them. Buffalo, Josh Allen. Denver got Bo Nix. We can just keep this list going. You know, Jordan Love with the Packers. I know they've been kind of having their ups and downs. He's been dealing with some things out there. But I mean, we look, the list is Sam Darnold is the guy in Seattle. The list goes on. Brock Purdy looked phenomenal again last night against the Bears. 5 touchdowns. Caleb Williams. The list goes on. All these teams have their quarterbacks. We have a guy in the building that leads the league in turnovers. That's who we have. That continues to turn the ball over on a weekly basis. That's who we have. We're never going to get to the promised land with Geno Smith at the helm as the quarterback one. Watching all these other teams going to the playoffs, Justin Herbert, all these teams, it's so frustrating. Watch all these guys, and some of these guys we could have had, which is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Watching these teams be as successful as they are, and we're sitting over here getting the Jimmy G's of the world, the Gardner Minshew's of the world, bringing these guys in, bringing those guys in and hoping that things change, the Geno Smiths of the world. Junior, we've been losing for so long. We always want our Raiders to win, but if we can lose one more, get our quarterback so we can build this the right way to turn this thing around. Simple math right there, Junior. Because at the end of the day, bro, I've been a fan of this team for too long. I've covered this team now for about 5 years. I want to be able to cover a winning product. I want to be excited about waking up to do my job and talk about this football team. I want to be excited sending these messages to these agents and these players. Man, pull up on the show and let's talk about the big win on Sunday. I want to be able to talk about positive things around here, and we have not been able to get it done. So guess what? We're going to be negative for 2 weeks in order to secure the guy that could potentially turn this thing around. It just is what it is. And if you don't like it, leave, bro. Hit the unsubscribe button. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I promise you, I do not care. It means nothing to me. We'll get some new subscribers, once we go out there and get our quarterback, our new head coach, and we're off to the races next year. I don't care. So when you guys post comments about you're a fake fan and blah, 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 I don't care. I just want you guys to know this. We're talking about it because it's a topic, but I just don't care. I will block you and continue to move on. You mean nothing to me. Your existence means nothing to me. Honestly, it doesn't matter. So the Primos, my guy, you ain't tanking when you're already 2-14. You just suck. 2022 won meaningless games. Excuse not getting a quarterback. 2023, 2024, 2025, same thing. 2026, no excuses. Get a damn quarterback. Listen to my brother Raider Primos right there. This is factory outlet. We've been here way too many times to not go out here and say, you know what, do the right thing. Lose these few ball games and let's move on into the promised land with our next guy. Because I swear, bro, I hope if it's Mendoza or Dante Moore, I just hope and pray. I don't think you guys realize. I've been a fan for so long. I've seen this team in 40 years have one homegrown talent, one guy that you can call your franchise quarterback, and that was Derek Carr. Rich Gannon had already played for the Vikings, the Chiefs, came over, was an MVP, did great things, got to the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. We know what Richie did, right? In 40 years, we've had one franchise quarterback that we got in the second round out of Fresno State. One. And what happened there, you guys? 2014, bad year. 2015, got a little better. 2016, phenomenal year until DC broke his leg. In 40 years, I've seen this team have one franchise quarterback. And yeah, you could throw Jamarcus Russell into there, right? Because you took him at one. He was supposed to be the franchise, but he wasn't. We've had one franchise quarterback in my 40 years, one homegrown talent that we can even go over the long list of other guys that we brought in, journeymen, that didn't help turn this thing around. You know it's bad. You know it's bad. When my favorite quarterbacks, and this is no knock to either one of them because I loved them growing up. My favorite quarterbacks are Rich Gannon and Jeff Hostetler. That's how bad it's been as Raider fans. That's how bad. My favorite quarterbacks, Jeff Hostetler and Rich Gannon. Patrick Mahomes winning all these championships. Brady winning all these championships. A-Rod got one. You know, I watched Brett Favre get a few and John Elway get a few and all that other shit. All these other guys. My favorite quarterbacks that I looked up to as a kid, Rich Gannon and Jeff Hostetler. It's time, you guys. It is time to get our quarterback. So just think about that when you want to complain and call everybody fake fans and they're not really about the shield and all this other shit. It's time to get back to what you need to do, what you have not done in many moons, and that is go get your quarterback, not the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, not the 49ers Patriots quarterback and Jimmy G, not the Colts, Eagles, Gardner Minshew. None of that. It's time to go get your own guy, your guy, homegrown talent. Homegrown talent. That's what it is. Simple and plain. It's time to do that. Salute to Alex. Turning this O-line around can be real fast. Colton and JPJ back next year. Lots of free agent linemen and getting a new O-line coach automatically improves this unit. This is facts. They are not as bad as they've been playing this year. Terrible coaching, 2 injuries to JPJ and Colton, them on the shelf, definitely turned things into a bad situation with that O-line. Again, Caleb Rogers in year 2. Hopefully Charles Grant gets some burn as well. You know, we have some talent already. We're going to bring in some veterans. Keep an eye on the Braden Smiths of the world, Tyler Linderbaum, if he escapes Baltimore. You know, there's a ton of guys that we're going to talk about that we could potentially bring in free agency. But again, I'm excited about seeing what this O-line can look like next year after a full draft class and also, you know, free agency period where we have a ton of money these next 2 seasons. C-Rob, Graphk, would you trade back with the Jets and take more if he declares and get a haul? The Jets will still be terrible even if Mendoza cooks, and next year have their top pick, which will still be a high pick. Let me say this, C-Rob, I am going with whoever Spy Tech and Tom Brady wants. That's who I'm going with. Spy Tech, you know, has won some games out there with Baker Mayfield, a veteran journeyman, right? Well, yeah, actually a journeyman. I mean, Browns, Panthers, Rams, won some games out there with him, you know, won a championship with Tom Brady. He knows what he likes in his quarterbacks. He allowed Pete to get his quarterback, and he died on that hill this year. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Whatever they want to do, I'm here for it, as long as you get one of those guys. If you trade back a spot and they want Mendoza and you go get, you know, more, I'm okay with that. And then you can build around them. That's fine. Whoever they choose, I'm here. I'm rocking with it. But C-Rob, I want to watch what these guys look like in the next few weeks. You know what I mean? I want to see what the playoffs look like. I want to see what Mendoza looks like against Alabama and Ty Simpson. I want to see what Dante Moore looks like against that Texas Tech defense. You know, we got another week or so, and we'll get a better idea of who these guys are. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. But if you can trade back and get a bunch of draft capital one spot and still get your quarterback, that'd be phenomenal. It definitely would be phenomenal for sure. But again, if they're locked in on Mendoza like it sounds like, and we're getting word that they really like Fernando Mendoza, don't play around. Just get your quarterback. You have 10 draft picks. You could potentially have more if you move up or move down the board. You know what I mean? Like there's some trade situations. You can potentially pick up some extra draft capital. Just get your quarterback and don't play around. Salute to Gio, man. Black Sales, my guy. As always. Is it true that no matter what happens with KC, the lowest we drop is 2? Good morning, fam. From what I'm seeing out there is the Niners winning last night against the Bears helped our strength of schedule. So there's several scenarios that needs to happen for the Jets to move ahead of us. They need to lose. We need to win. Giants need to lose. But there's other scenarios around the league. I think it's like 5 or 6 more things that need to happen in order for the Jets. Let me say this, Black Sales. Right now, there's an 80% chance the Raiders have the number 1 spot. Okay, and a lot needs to happen in order for us to move back. At the end of the day, all we need to do is just lose, which if this same team shows up Sunday against the Chiefs, I don't care who they have out there playing. They're the better football team. We're going to lose again. But there's several scenarios with the Jets, other games going on around the league that they need in order for us to drop to 3, I believe. And I'm going to bring up some things here in a second. We'll go over them in a minute. Salute to my guy, Black Sales. My guy. Let me see. So the jersey. Yeah, you got. I had to be on my soapbox for a minute. And I see some people say that DC wasn't a franchise quarterback. He was our franchise quarterback. Just is what it is. He was here for 9 years. I believe he had, 4 Pro Bowls. At the end of the day, when's the last time you guys can say that a homegrown talent with the Raiders did that? It's been many moons, many moons. I'm talking about you have to go back decades potentially. Like, yes, DC was our franchise quarterback. Let's not act as though the guy didn't have an MVP caliber year in 2016 before he broke his leg. So let's stop that shit. Okay. I understand, a lot of people don't like Derek Carr. People think that I hate him. I was just ready to move on from him. But at one point in time, DC definitely was our franchise quarterback. Okay. Simple and plain. It is what it is. So feel how you feel. Cool. I get it. Because at the end, I was ready to move on as well. But also don't ignore the fact that DC had a ton of success with us, in that 2016 year. And I know 2017 kind of went downhill from there. 2021, we found a way to get into the playoffs. I know we lost, on the road, wild card in Cincinnati. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, DC was at one point our franchise quarterback. And then we moved off of him because, again, it just didn't work out. Jersey, I did a mock, and the Jets offered their 2 first, the second and 2 1s next year. I might have to take that. I know that offer probably it wouldn't happen at all, Jersey. There's no way. They're going to hold on to some of those first next year. Because, again, let's just say that they have so much ammunition. They could take Dante Moore this year if he's there, if he declares. And if it doesn't work out, if they don't see, he's not the guy, they can go get another guy next year. They have so much firepower. They're not going to move off their 2 first this year and then 2 of them next year. They have 3 of them next year. I don't see that happening in any world at all, Jersey. Salute to my guy. Salute to 510, my dog, on the $10 smackaroonie. It's not just about the first pick of the draft. It's man, I've said this 510 a million times. The first pick every round. We need blue chippers bad, but some of y'all would rather go 3 and 14 and mess that up again. There you go. And again, the pick of the litter at the head coaching spot as well, 510. If you have the number 1 pick, it becomes the most attractive job in the NFL because you have Brock Bowers, Genty, Max Crosby, and some young talent in Jackson Powers Johnson. Look, somebody's going to say, I like what they're building out there. We're going to have our pick of the litter at the head coach's spot with Tom Brady and Spytech leading the charge to bring them in. So, look, man, again, I don't care about these 2 games. It means absolutely nothing to me. It means absolutely. You know what? I'll say one thing even better, you guys, and y'all can feel how you want to feel. When you're out of playoff contention, at that point, who gives a shit? If you're not fighting for something, look, there's a different type of situation, you guys. The Giants going out and winning that game yesterday was great. You know why it was great for them? Because they have a young rookie quarterback that needs as many wins as possible to build that momentum going into the offseason. Okay? Simple and plain. We don't have that. Let's just win 2 games with Geno Smith on the way out when he's not even going to be here next year. If we had Fernando Mendoza this year and we went out and won 2 games, man, look, let's go win some games at the end of the year. Who cares? Because that is great for these young kids. It's great for Genty. It's great for Brock. It's great for Michael Mayer still on a rookie deal. It's great for Jackson Powers Johnson, Jack Bench, but more importantly, our rookie quarterback. That was great for the Giants yesterday. They needed that win. They needed that because guess what? They have their guy already in the building. Cam Ward, do you think that they care about winning any games? They have their guy. They have their guy. But again, they're still trying. They're still fighting. They won a week ago against the Chiefs. They almost beat the Saints yesterday. You know why? Because they have their guy. That's why. We don't have our guy. So it's okay to go out here and lose some meaningless games because we don't have our guy. This is what it is. So to my guy Rube, man, winning stupid games has been an issue. The year we picked Farrell, we were supposed to be top 3 and get Bosa Williams. I remember that Janikowski kick, and I've talked about this a million times, to beat Arizona. I believe it was that game, right? Wasn't it Seabass that kicked that extra point? Was it Seabass or who was it? It wasn't Carlson at that point. I think it was Seabass. We won a meaningless game against the Arizona Cardinals. Next thing you know, we end up with Klee. He's a journeyman at this point, and he's no longer on this roster. So I agree with you, Rube. Again, why win a meaningless game that could potentially take you from generational talent to a guy that won't be here finishing his rookie deal? Like, make it make sense. So to my guy, Rube, man, on a $5 special. Let me get these supers in real quick, y'all. Ryan, my guy, man, appreciate you on a $10 special. Do you see any of our one-year linebackers returning? Adams, Roberts, White? No, I don't. And also, would you want any of them too? No, I would not. Question 2, was JPJ moving to guard on Pete and Chip, or can we please put him at center moving forward? This is the second regime, Ryan, that had him at guard. Okay, so I look, if they want to keep him at guard at this point, whoever comes in and says he's a guard to me, I can live with it. Just don't play around and put him out there as a starter immediately. Don't have him going, out there battling it out with the Alex Kappas of the world. Let him know you are a big part of this team. You have to earn your job, but you don't have to constantly put that into the media space and into the world that this guy has to earn his reps, because he was singled out over everybody else. You didn't hear Dylan Parham have to battle it out at left guard. You didn't hear Glaze have to battle it out at right tackle. You didn't hear Colton have to battle it out at left tackle. The list goes on, right? Just let him know you are a critical piece, a pivotal piece of this team moving forward, whether it's at guard or center. But this is the second regime, Ryan, that wanted him at the guard spot. So if he ends up being a guard next year, I'm okay, as long as you bring in a Tyler Linderbaum type of talent, or you go get one of the better centers in this draft class. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So again, it's going to be interesting to see, because, AP and company, they had him at the guard spot, and then he was just kind of thrown into the center position because of injuries. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We shall see, but hopefully the next regime looks at him as a center. Salute to my guy. KC, how do you feel about Spy Tech? Did Pete control the roster? I like Spy Tech. I think that he knew that this was a lost year. I think that he hired the right coach to come in and kind of see them through this. I think that Tom Brady and Spy Tech knew that this guy was going to get in his own way. Honestly, I really do. This is just me allegedly. I think that they knew this was the perfect situation for the tank. If they would have got Ben Johnson, you guys, this would have been a whole different situation. They wouldn't be looking at it the way they're looking at it now. Okay, it's not. When they got in, when they brought him in, and we dropped the 6, and took Genty there, the best player on the board available in my eyes, and I think in a lot of you guys' eyes, the writing was on the wall there that this is going to kind of be a lost season. So yes, I like Spy Tech. I want to see what this first draft class can do with real live reps next year. Hopefully Besh is a big part of the offense. Hopefully Dante can thrive next year. Hopefully Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant can find starting roles. And again, we shall see. But Pete definitely controlled the roster. I mean, he moved a 3rd rounder for Geno Smith. He went and brought Stone Forsythe in. He brought in Jamal Adams, a former Seahawk, converted him to linebacker. There's so many, you can just look at the way he constructed that roster. Yes, Pete controlled the roster. Even the philosophy on the defensive side of the ball, the system changed with him and Graham both collectively out there, defensive-minded guys. It changed. Pete definitely controlled the roster. But I'm excited to see what Spy Tech can do moving forward. Definitely. Rube, our first 4 picks will essentially be top 100 picks. Our 4th round pick is 103. Spy Tech needs to hit this year. Can't wait for guys to develop. Need 3 to 4 day 1 starters, impact players. Agree with you, Rube. And I think that we're in play right now to do that. Definitely. But I agree with you like crazy. Definitely a ton of top 100 picks. And this is going to be a very telling draft with Spy Tech. This is the most, to be honest, Rube, his job may be on the line with this draft, because if the quarterback doesn't hit and you can't build around him in this offseason with all this money, all this salary, and then a full draft class, Spytek may be 2 and done. You just never truly know. You never truly know. But again, yes, I think that this is a very critical draft class for Spytek, and he needs to hit this out the park. Salute to my guy. Graphk, are you a Moore or a Mendoza guy? I like them both. Again, this is not, I've told you guys from Jump Street, I'm not in love with any of these quarterbacks. To be real, I like Ty Simpson. I like Dante Moore. I like Mendoza. I was really sold on watching him play against Ohio State. How, he's a bad motherfucker, man. Took that hit, from Curry, I believe, the first play of the game, and bounced back and came down and won that ball game against the number 1 team in the nation. I like all 3 of those guys. But again, I need to see them at the next level in order to fall in love with them. So I'm not really a Mendoza guy. I'm not really a Dante Moore guy. I'm not really a Ty Simpson guy. I'm whoever they draft, and I'm hopefully it works guy. That may be kind of cheating here, but it just is what it is. I think that they all 3 bring something different to the table. It was Carlson against Arizona. Okay, got you. Yes, that was the first year with him out there, I believe 2018. Yes. So it was Carlson. He just came over from Minnesota at that time. So you guys are right. Salute to Ty. 2016 car got me amped up again. Talk, damn it, talk. Facts, Ty. Facts. The last time that we felt like we had a real team assembled. It was fun watching Crabtree and Coop and Khalil Mack out there dominating. Bruce Irvin, old man Reggie Nelson, that phenomenal O-line with KO and Huddy and those guys. Definitely. Salute to my guy Bubba, man. Salute Graphk. How big of a gap do you see between Mendoza and Moore? It's cold as F down here in Texas, but yeah, I'm freezing, bro. Definitely. I got my hoodie on, beanie in the house, 2 pairs of pants. It's freezing out here. I'm gonna say this. I'm going to hold my judgment until I get to watch these playoffs. I want to see what these guys look like against some of the top competition. Again, Oregon plays against some really good football teams. Indiana, he just beat Ohio State, right? But I want to see what these guys look like these next few weeks in the playoffs before I really determine that. But they both have, to me, just different games. You know what I mean? I don't really, it's kind of difficult to compare the two. I think that they both realistically have 2 different games. Again, there's been so many like Matt Ryan comparisons with Mendoza, right? Or Jared Goff. And then there's the CJ Stroud, Jordan Love comparisons for Dante Moore, which I like all those comparisons. But again, those 2 are different kind of players. I know that Moore is considered a pocket passer, but he can use his legs if need be. Mendoza can as well. But, just 2 different games, 2 different games. But I'll say this again, and I hate to sound like I'm just kind of cheating you out of this question. I'm going to go with Tom Brady. I'm going to go with Spytek. I think that they want the big 6'5" prototypical guy in Mendoza, who is a great X's and O's guy. He's a very intelligent kid. I think that they would probably go with Mendoza. And I think that the gap in their minds may be wider than mine. I think that they're both great talents, and I think that we'd be great with either one of them. Salute the King. JPJ needs to use that Guardian cap. Facts. Hopefully next year he has that on for sure. Salute the King, man, my dog. Salute the Philly. Other than the center for the Ravens, who are some free agent offensive linemen that we should consider? I mean, there's a few names out there. Again, we talked about Braden Smith, the right tackle out there with the Indianapolis Colts. His market value next year is about $13.8 million. There's Jonah Williams out there, the right tackle with Arizona. He's only 28. He'll be 29 years old. His market, 11.4. Joel, I always butcher his name. Batonino, whatever it is. The guard from Cleveland. He is up there in age, though. I don't think we're going to try to bring in a 34, 35-year-old. But he's unrestricted out there. He's going to be market value somewhere around 12.7 to 13 million per. Wyatt Teller, potentially the other guard out there with Cleveland. He's 31 years old. There's some interesting names out there. Cam Robinson, another Cleveland Brown. Their whole O-line is free agents at this point. And I'm not a Cam Robinson guy, so I don't want you to think that I want to bring him in by any means. And, more importantly, he plays on the left side. So, but I would look at Braden for sure. I'm looking at Braden and I'm looking at Tyler Linderbaum. Those are the big fish to me in free agency to bring in if we choose to go that direction with veterans in the offseason. Salute to Philly. Salute to Rube. SpyTech needs to draft pro-ready players. Playoff teams have the luxury of letting projects develop. Bad teams can ruin project-type players. Development, we aren't in a spot to have a bunch of projects. Facts. And you know the great thing about that is, Rube, some of the guys that we've already brought in are actually, they were NFL ready, right? Ashton Genty, NFL ready. He's getting it done in the passing game and in the ground game with the worst O-line in football. Brock Bowers came in and damn near broke every fucking record as a tight end in year one, right? No development type guy. Okay. Then you have some other guys like Dante Thornton, who a lot of us assumed was a developmental talent, which he is. It's going to take some time for him to develop more of a route tree and find that, you know, hopefully the next system that we run, he can be that deep threat, big 50-50 ball guy that we want. But when he came in, a lot of us were like, okay, this is going to be a great developmental guy. You can't teach the speed. You can't teach the height. I don't think that Jack Bech is a developmental talent, Rube. I don't. I think that he is ready to go now, whether that is a high-end wide receiver 2 or just a wide receiver 2. I think that he is ready to go now. I think Caleb Rogers, to me, and Grant were both developmental guys. Now, we'll see what they look like in year 2. But I thought that a few of these guys in the first 2 rounds, and Bech and Genty, were ready to go. I just wish that Bech would have got more opportunities early on. And, you know, bringing in Lockett, to me, was just like, what are you doing here? Like, you're taking away from Jack Bech. Simple and plain. But I agree with you. Need more pro-ready players. The great thing about that, Ruben, you and I both know this, is that Fernando Mendoza, pro-style offense, he'll be ready to go. You know, now I don't know if they're going to sit him in year 1. They may bring in another veteran in the offseason, a Malik Willis or someone up to that effect. Jacoby Brissett. I don't know who it's going to be. But again, I think he is the most pro-ready quarterback in this class right now. You know what? That may be where that gap is, Philly, right there. Is he's the most pro-ready. He's coming from a pro-style offense in Indiana. There you go. But I agree with you. Rube just be dropping bombs. Rube be dropping bombs. Salute to my guy, AC. Graphk kicking knowledge you can't get in college. Salute to my dog, AC, man. Always good to see my brother. Member for 47 months. Love to see it, man. Salute to my guy, Mike. Draft Mendoza, sign Malik Willis, 2 battle for the court. I would love it. I would love it because, honestly, then you can sit Mendoza if you need to. Now, if Mendoza goes into the offseason and just absolutely just destroys it, you know, at training camp, and he's just the end-all, be-all, he just stands out, he's the guy, do it. I think that Malik Willis, wherever he goes next, it's going to be interesting as well because it'd be funny if we brought in LaFleur, the OC with the Rams as the head coach, and then Malik Willis goes from one LaFleur to the next. I think Malik Willis did it. He got it the right way. He sat behind Jordan Love. He sat behind some guys, got a chance to see the game for what it is, and now he's showing that he's a starting caliber quarterback. So the thing is this, Mike, if you bring in Mendoza and Malik Willis, I'm assuming wherever Malik goes, he is going to be a starter. I don't think he's signing to be a backup anywhere. So let's just say you sign Malik Willis in free agency, you draft Mendoza, and Mendoza just outshines him, you know, then we may have an issue there with Malik Willis. But again, you know, hey, man, you want the best player out there at each position, right? So it is what it is. Malik Willis would have to live with the fact that he got beat out by a rookie. But again, I think Malik is going to go somewhere where he can start in year 1, and that potentially can be with the Raiders if Tom and SpyTech and company think Mendoza needs a year to sit, and that would be a great problem to have. Salute to my guy, Chappie. I'm in Oregon, and the vibe is Dante is returning. There you go, Chappie. Definitely could be, and that would change everything with this draft because there's going to be teams out there calling us trying to give us everything. There may be some type of deal out there, Chappie, that Tom Brady and SpyTech just cannot turn around. Like, just can't turn down. And Kenny, we talked about Elijah Vera Tucker as well, another guy to keep an eye on. Often hurt, but a guy that can be a big, big piece of that O-line at the guard spot if he can stay healthy. And that's a major ask if he can stay healthy. So, but I just hope this isn't our 2024 Hawks draft. Oh, my God, man. Oof. Yeah, that was nasty. You talking about the NBA, right? Yeah, nasty work. They're already trying to move off their first-round pick. Nasty, nasty work. I agree. Definitely has the highest floor. Me and Waster were talking about that the other day. Definitely. So the tie, my dog. If we draft a quarterback, do we sit him and who's the bridge? To be determined. Pickett's a free agent. He's gone. I don't think that he comes back at all. Aiden has one more year left on his rookie deal. And I think that, again, I've said this since day one. I think he's played his last down as a Raider. I think that they move off of him. We just drafted Cam Miller. They're going to develop him a little bit behind the scenes. Maybe he could be a career backup. I don't know. But again, there's some guys that are going to be out there. And we went over these names before, Ty. There's not a lot of names out there at the quarterback position. I mean, we can go over a few names. Honestly, you're going to be like, what the hell? Daniel Jones, I think Indianapolis is going to bring him back, and his market value is crazy, $44 million. But he helped turn that thing around out there in Indianapolis before shit kind of hit the fan out there. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to retire, and if he doesn't, he'll probably just return to the Steelers. But I think he's done. Russell Wilson, you're not bringing him in. Marcus Mariota, you're not bringing him in at all. He'll be 33 next year, and he's always injured. Zach Wilson, he'll be 27 next year. He's been like kind of like the third guy out there in Miami. I think he's the backup now to Quinn Ewers, but interesting name out there, former top pick. Tyrod Taylor, he'll be 37 next year. Joe Flacco, he'll be 41 next year. Jimmy G, we've been there and done that. Kenny Pickett, been there and done that. Mitchell Trubisky, hell no. Case Keenum, hell no. Trey Lance is an interesting name. I wouldn't be mad if we brought him in. If whoever, the coach is next thinks that he can be that guy, I wouldn't have any fault with that because, again, he's only 25 years old. But other than that, there's a bunch of guys outside of Malik Willis that are just honestly career backups. There's nobody on this list outside of potentially Willis, maybe Trey Lance, and that's a major if that you can even look at in terms of bringing in to be the bridge guy. So, yes, it's a weird off season to try and find you a bridge quarterback. Salute to my guy Sleepy the Boss on becoming a member. My dog, I appreciate you, my brother. Salute too. If you guys want to become a member, like my guy Sleepy, hit the link. It's pinned up top, man. Definitely. But no, that would be a great problem to have, Martin. Have Mendoza and Willis. That'd be great. That'd be great. I think that we would be we'd have one of the better quarterback rooms in football. I know a lot of you may disagree with me, but I've been watching Malik Willis closely, and he looks like a lot of people assume that he's just this guy that's just going to take off with his legs, coming from Liberty, all the rushing yards that he's had. This guy can pick you apart from the pocket as well. Don't think for 1 minute that Malik Willis is just this guy that's just going to take off and run constantly. No, he's learned a lot under LaFleur. And he can be that guy that can pick you apart from the pocket. If it collapses and he has to use his legs, then he will. And he can pick you apart with in that aspect of his game as well. So I have no issue bringing in the likes of Malik Willis because I think he could be a stud for us. Definitely. And he's still young, you guys. He's still really, really young. That's the beauty of it right there. Rube, man, my dog, man, going crazy today. $20 special. Mendoza is a pro-ready quarterback, but Indiana is a college offense. A lot of RPO and quick passes to the hashes. He has NFL size, arm, quick release, smart. Kennedy runs a college offense, though. Not a lot of throws over him. I got to disagree with you, man. I think honestly, what offenses in the NFL don't do that now? You know what I mean, Rube? Like, I think a lot of NFL offenses run a lot of RPO now, a lot of quick passes. I mean, I don't think that that's a big change from coming from Indiana to the NFL level. Now, Rube, I agree with you in the sense of, it is a college offense because he's coming from college. But I got to disagree with you. I think he is a pro-ready quarterback. I think that is more of a pro-style offense. Again, I mean, a lot of these guys, and I don't want to say dink and dunk, but it's just, it is what it is. Bo Nix dinks and dunks a lot and then takes the top off when need be. I think that's kind of the way of the league right now, Rube. I could be wrong, though, and I definitely want to hear your opinion on that. But I think that a lot of offenses are kind of going towards that. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I really, truly believe that. But I think that is a pro-style offense in Indiana. And I know Rube knows what Rube is definitely a great football mind. But I want your take on that. I want to know why do you think it's not a pro-style offense? Because I think everything that you mentioned at this point is kind of pro-style. That's what they do. A lot of quick passes, a lot of RPO. A lot of that is in the NFL now. Salute to E. Lee, my dog. I hope we don't F this up. I'll be 37 in January. The 11th. Capricorn gang, my boy, January 15th. We need a change, and I need something good to happen. I agree with you, my brother. Salute to E. Lee, man, and happy early birthday as well, my brother. We need a quarterback that can protect the football as well. And I'll tell you this, E. Lee, we're talking about Fernando Mendoza, who didn't make a lot of mistakes out there in Indiana. 33 touchdowns, 6 picks, a phenomenal QBR. He's third in the nation, 88.7 QBR. One thing he's not going to go out there and do is turn the football over, and he's not going to make a lot of passes that could potentially be turnover-worthy passes. That's not what his game is. That's not what he does. Definitely protects the football out there. And that's another reason why a lot of people assume that he'll be the number one guy. And because why, he won the Heisman, because again, he doesn't turn the football over, and he doesn't make a lot of throws that again are turnover worthy throws. He's definitely a smart quarterback that makes very smart passes. So to my guy, Two Stock. Why is there a growing sentiment that Carroll will be back next year? I think that a lot of us in the nation, Two Stock, are just worried because of him sitting a few guys, and kind of, adding to the tank, so to speak. I think a lot of people are assuming that this guy is going to be back because of it. I don't think that at all. I think that, again, I said this yesterday, and I said it the day before, and I'll say it today. I think that these guys have a plan that, we can either fire you Monday on our own accord if you don't go about this the way we want you to, or we can make this a soft retirement. You can resign, in a few weeks, go off on your own accord if you do it our way. Again, I wouldn't put anything past the Raiders. I want it. But in what world, you guys, does it make any sense to draft Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore with Pete Carroll as your head coach? How does that make any sense? Geno will be back to be the bridge guy. Brendan Carroll will still be your offensive line coach. How does it make any sense at all if they draft a quarterback to keep Pete Carroll in the building? It makes no sense whatsoever. None. If he couldn't get it done with his quarterback, how in the hell is he going to get it done with Spytek and Brady's quarterback? Make it make sense. Salute to Mike. Pay Randy Moss to work with Thornton, Jacoby Lane in the third or fourth. My boy out of USC. He's a stud, like Jacoby Lane. But I think Dante's going to be good, man. I really truly believe that, man. And he's a good kid. He has a great support system around him. I think that they all assumed because Geno was this known, deep ball thrower around the league that he was going to come in and help Dante be that guy in year one. And it just didn't work out. He just kept throwing pick after pick. And Dante knows that there's a lot he needs to work on in this game in year two. But again, I don't think many people thought that Dante was going to be out there as much as he was this year. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people assumed he was going to be out there getting starting reps initially. I thought that most people, like myself, thought he was going to be a guy you can develop behind the scenes, get him right, and have him come in another year and be that guy. Or at the bare minimum, be your speedster on the boundary, a 9-route guy, go ball guy that can go up and get the 50-50 for you. So, salute to my guy, Mike, man. Appreciate you, brother, on the $2 smackaroonie, man. Salute to Mees. Any world where we get Shula head coach and LaFleur OC? I'll say this. I don't think that happens because the Rams could kind of nix that deal and keep LaFleur with the Rams. I think they've done that previously before. I don't think that they're going to let him just walk for like a lateral move. Like he has to I don't think that's going to happen. I think you have to pick one that honestly. And it would be interesting to see if we did bring back or we brought in Shula as the head coach because he's a defensive minded guy, who he would bring in as the OC. Very intriguing to me because of all of the time he has spent with McVay. But I don't think in any world you're going to get both. I don't. I think that LaFleur is going to take other jobs. His name alone, rings bells, and I know it didn't work out with the Jets, but maybe him getting a chance now to have his own playbook after spending some time with McVay, maybe it works. Salute to Mike. Again, would you give another shot at Kingsbury now as the head coach? If Brady wants to go get his guy, former New England teammate, they're really tight, really good friends. If he believes that, he can come in and bring that air raid out to Vegas and it'll work with Fernando Mendoza, if he truly believes that can work and he can be the head coach, because this year it was a down year with the Commanders again. They had a ton of injuries. Jaden Daniels was hurt a lot. They kind of were forced out there with Mariota, Scary Terry dealing with the holdouts and then some injuries. I wouldn't be against it if Brady went that route. Would that be one of my top 3 guys? No, not at all. But if he chose to go that route, it would make sense because of the connection that he has with Brady. And maybe he believes that he could be the guy to unlock Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore. So we shall see. But interesting name, Mike. I'm starting to see that name a lot more as the season is unwinding here. Salute to my guy, Rube, again, man. My boy going crazy, man. I appreciate you, Rube. I just feel like the most pro-style offense is West Coast-style offense. Okay, now I know what you mean. That's why Kubiak and LaFleur are the top options for head coaching. If we bring in one of those guys, they might want Dante, who's a West Coast offense already. Okay. Salute to my guy, Rube. Appreciate you for breaking that down, my brother. And again, we'll see. We'll see. Kubiak is definitely going to be an option. I don't see in any world that he returns to Seattle and just keeps an OC job. I think he's going to take advantage of his name being so hot out there. I know that they haven't really had the greatest ground game out there, but he's helped Sam Darnold and company go crazy. And Jackson is literally the best wide receiver in football this year with Sam Darnold out there throwing the ball. So salute to my guy, Rube. Definitely another intriguing name, though. And LaFleur, definitely a guy to monitor moving forward. Salute to my guy, Manny Main, on the $5 special. If we get Mendoza, we have to get an offensive-minded coach to develop Mendoza. Thoughts on Cliff? Just talked about that, Manny. Who are you taking? I think he's trying to say Dante with O-line, Genty Bowers. Is that what you're trying to say? I think you said Dante with O-line, Genty Bowers. Manny, double back real quick in the comment section and let me know what you meant by that, brother. What you guys said, hit Stu up? I'll definitely hit up Stu. I'll definitely hit Stu up for sure. Stu's my brother, Pastor Raider, in the building as well. We need a Stu show ASAP. Stu's been mad busy, but I'll definitely bring him in very, very soon. Salute to the 1,300 people here in the building. As always, I appreciate you guys so much, man. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you are not subscribed yet, man, what are y'all waiting on? Hit that subscribe button. He says Mendoza with an O-line. Okay, my bad. Doza. Still getting my caffeine in me, brother. With O-line, Genty and Ballard, man, that could be a dynamic offense. It really, truly could. It really, really could. Cliff, though, to me, would be a top 5 potential option. Clint, to me, would be in that top 3. But there's some other interesting names that we may bring in, at least for a visit, an interview. Keep an eye on Flores. I would make Flores the highest paid defensive coordinator, period. If we bring in an offensive-minded guy, if we bring in a Kubiak or we bring in a Cliff or we bring in a LaFleur, I am going to go call Flores if he doesn't get a head coaching job elsewhere, and I'm making him the highest paid defensive coordinator in football. I want an aggressive defense, you guys. That's what I want. I want an aggressive defense moving forward. I don't want this shit where the middle of the football field is wide open week in and week out, rarely getting after the quarterback. I want a Flores that's going to go out there and blitz. He's going to be given so many different looks. I want a hybrid, run some 4-3, some 3-4. I just want a fun, aggressive defense. That's what I want. And if the Raiders can somehow, some way do what they did with Robert Saleh, try to make him the highest paid DC, bring him in. Bring him in. That would be a fun defense, especially with Max in the building, man. That would be great. So to Marvin, my guy, man, appreciate you, brother, on the $5 special. I heard Sean McVay's prepared Chris Shula for the head coaching role. Yes. And the pass coordinator, Nate, who worked with Brock Purdy in college as the OC over at Iowa. Yes. Chris Shula, I believe, you guys, they were best friends, I believe, since their college days. I believe they were roommates. And there's been several reports that come out, Marvin, that said that Chris Shula is the only guy that is privy to everything that McVay brings to the table. He kind of keeps other people kind of at arm's length, and that Shula is his right-hand man, best friend, and he knows every single thing about his system. So, yes, he has definitely prepared Chris Shula, a guy who, I mean, look at the Shula tree. I mean, his grandfather is one of the greatest coaches of all time. I believe that Sean McVay has prepared this guy for this moment. That Rams defense was fun to watch this year as well. And I think that he's going to be one of the hottest commodities in football. Keep an eye on the not Indianapolis. Keep an eye on the Tennessee Titans as well. I know there's a lot of McCarthy to the Titans. Keep an eye on Chris Shula. He's another name that's intriguing because of his time with McVay. You know, he's privy to, to his offense as well. So maybe he can help Cam Ward there in a sense. And then also Tennessee wants to be a defensive-minded football team. They want to build around Jeffrey Simmons. He'd be an interesting name out there as well. But I would definitely – Chris Shula to me is my number one option. That's my number one option. Again, because of the time that he spent with McVay. Salute to my guy, YOV. I think Mendoza and Brady could really work wonders for his young career. I've seen his interviews, and the kid has a great IQ. Need an offensive coach. Salute to my guy. Appreciate you, brother. I think Brady would definitely help get him prepared for the next level. Salute to Ryan as well. I know people love PG. I just don't see why. I don't love PG at all. I like his mentality. I like his personality. I think he's a really good dude. But yeah, it's time to move on from him. That we give up a concerning. Can we finally move on? And if so, who do we get? It's going to be interesting. Again, Ryan, we're going to see more names pop out, as the season wraps up. I don't know if Robert Saleh ends up getting a head coaching job elsewhere. To be determined. We shall see. If not, he'll probably stick with the 49ers. They have one of the best records in football without Bosa, without Warner, without a lot of those guys out there. I think he will stick with the Niners if he doesn't get a head coaching job. With me, the DC, it's going to be interesting to see. There's going to be more names that'll pop out, but I'm keeping an eye on Flores. Again, Ryan, I am keeping a name on Flores. Flores, to me, would be the funnest DC to bring into Vegas. He has that Raider mentality to me as well, like that no bullshit mentality. Go get after the quarterback. He's feisty on the sidelines. I love that shit. I think Flores has the Raiders in his DNA. He just doesn't know it yet. Make him the highest paid defensive coordinator. Bring him in. Let's run it. So to Sweeney, man, great show as always, Docs. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you on the kind words, and thank you for being a member for 41 months. So to Ty again, my dog, I want our defense to be Brock Lesnar aggressive. Talk that talk, my brother. Salute to Ty, man. We're going to go over a few more things here in a second as well, you guys. Let me get these supers in, man. Salute to my guys. You guys are absolutely going bonkers in the chat today. Rube with a $20 special. Rams, Niners, Vikings, Packers, Cowboys, Panthers, Colts. I'm sure a lot more. All the top West Coast teams. And look at what they do. Dallas has one of the top offenses in football. The Panthers had a fun offense, even with their quarterback there that has struggled a lot, out there in Carolina. The Packers, it's been a kind of up and down thing with them because they've had some injuries. But again, Packers always have a fun offense to watch. Vikings, the injuries, J.J. McCarthy has struggled, but they do have Kevin O'Connell, one of the best offensive-minded guys out there, not just in the world. He is one of the greatest offensive minds in football. The Niners just seem like they can win with anybody on the offensive side of the football, with Shanahan out there calling the shots, and then McVay, that goes without being said. The Colts also, up until their losing ways recently, they were the number one offense in football for a long time this year. All top West Coast teams. Andy Reid's successors don't work, but NFL is turning back to a run-first 12 personnel. We have the running back, and we have the tight ends. We have Brock, and we also have Michael Mayer, Rube, who I'm not giving anybody a game ball yesterday, but I will give Michael Mayer a game ball. He has stepped up. Michael Mayer showed that he can be a number one tight end in this league, and that he could be a high-end 1B to Brock Bowers 1A. I want to give him a game ball from yesterday because, again, he went out there. He was the only light that we had out there. 9 catches on 10 targets, 89 yards, average 9.9 a clip. He had a long of 19. I want to give him a ton of credit for going out there and playing the way he played yesterday. Michael Mayer is definitely showing that he belongs on this roster. He has one more year on his deal next year. Hopefully He can stay healthy next year. Hopefully there's no personal issues, where he has to miss because he missed a ton of time the year prior. Hopefully he can be that guy, that 12 personnel opposite of Brock Bowers. And hopefully we can bring him back on a modest contract and keep him around as that 1B to Brock Bowers. But he had a phenomenal game yesterday. Phenomenal game. It was really, really fun watching my guy out of Notre Dame go out there and ball with the absence of Brock Bowers. Salute the pastor, my dog, on a $20 special. Stockton's finest, Stockton's own. The X factor to all these issues is Mark Davis. He needs to hand off the football decision-making to the football people. I have to say this, Pastor, and I know this personally, he has no say when it comes to football decisions. He doesn't. I promise you. I've spoken to several people, former players, active players, people within the building. Mark has no say at all when it comes to football decisions. He just brings in the guys and allows them to do whatever it is they did. The problem is, Pastor, that he's brought in the wrong guys. He's brought in the Josh McDaniels of the world who likes to have that power trip. He brought in Gruden on a crazy guaranteed deal who likes to power trip. He brought in the wrong guys. But when it comes to football decisions, he has nothing. His hands are off. They are clean. I promise you, my brother. I swear, Pastor Raider, some people may disagree. Oh, he's a company guy. I am my own guy. I am my company guy. I am OLV Raiders Network. Nobody controls my narrative. Nobody can tell me what to do or what to say, including Mark Davis. But I can tell you this. He has no say in football decisions at all. His problem has been he's been hiring the wrong guys. The thing is this. You bring in your GM. You have your GM bring in his head coach. Simple math. Simple math. That's what it is. And hopefully this offseason, Spytech gets to go get his head coach. They move on from Pete Carroll, and we may be on to something here. But again, Josh McDaniels brings in his guy at the general manager spot. We know who runs the show. You bring in Mayock, a guy that covered the draft year in and year out, a draft specialist guy. You bring him in. Gruden is the guy. He's the one that controls everything. You need to bring a GM that knows I'm the GM. The head coach is the head coach. And this year, we've seen the power struggle. It seemed like Pete was the guy that ran the show, but I do believe, again, the Spytech gave him enough rope to hang himself this offseason. And I do believe that he's going to go locate his guy in the next week or so. Salute to my guy, Moore. How would you fix the O-line? Trades, free agent signings, or draft? I think that we have a lot of guys in the building already that are going to fix this O-line next year, including Charles Grant, Caleb Rogers, Jackson Powers-Johnson, Colton Miller, potentially a Laki Tassi if they can develop him. The first thing more to improve this offensive line is fire Brennan Carroll, and you're already better. You're already better. Simple and plain. Then go draft one or two bodies, bring in one or two bodies in free agency, the likes of a Linderbaum or Braden Smith, and you're cooking with gasoline at that point. Salute to my guy Moore. No trades. I don't think you need to make any trades in terms of bringing in the O-line. You have a ton of people here in the building already that are going to be really good at their positions. They just have a terrible position coach in Brennan Carroll. Salute to Joey. Look forward to more lives than games now. Man, salute to my guy, Joey, man. I appreciate you, brother. That's sad, but I definitely appreciate you. Insight says, Graphk, you are 100 about not telling people how to fan. Big ups for that, Brady, man. Salute to my guy, man. Trip, appreciate you, brother. Let me catch up in the chat real quick. Salute to my brother, man, Jason in the building as well. Get those likes up, you guys. Get those likes up. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Let me see. This dude said, does anybody have $5 on Cash App to spare? This boy tweaking. Trip, do you see a way the Giants beat the Cowboys? No, not at all. None whatsoever. The Cowboys are not laying down, and they're definitely not going to lay down for a divisional rival. The Cowboys, when they've been playing at a high level, they've been going all out these last few weeks. Dak has been playing out of his mind. CeeDee Lamb playing out of his mind. George Pickens playing out of his mind. Javonte Williams playing at a high level. There's no way that I see the Giants beating the Cowboys. And the Giants have not won a game trip this year at home. Not one game. Not one. I have the Cowboys going into Meadowlands and blowing the doors off the Giants this weekend. I don't see in any world them beating the Cowboys. It'd be fun to watch. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. The Cowboys are the better team. Their defense is starting to consistently get better weekly with Quinnen Williams. I know Siobhan Revel has struggled a little bit, you know what I mean? But they've gotten a little bit more healthy on the defensive side of the ball. They went and got Logan Wilson. The Cowboys are trying to build some momentum going into the offseason because they think with this existing roster and another draft and free agency that they can go all out and win it next year. That's why I think that they're going to bring George Pickens back regardless of how much it costs. I think that Jerry Jones thinks that this roster that they have with Quinnen Williams and Logan and those guys, I think that he thinks that they can win it next year. So they're not taking their foot off the gas whatsoever. Pastor, it's all good, brother. It doesn't look, bro. All good. All good. Salute to my guy, Pastor Raider. Salute to my brother Rob in the building as well. Gifting 5 OLV Raider Nation Network memberships. My brother, I appreciate you so much. Salute to all the new members in the building. Because of my guy, Robert, if you missed out on those 5, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Again, you guys, there's no game balls going around for tomorrow, for yesterday's shit show of a loss. The great thing is we did take the L against the Giants. This was a critical L for us. We had to lose this game. They were in front of us. We're now at the number 1 spot. But again, nobody had a great game at all. Geno was efficient, 20 for 28. He had 2 picks, 1 tutty. Imagine this, you guys. That may have been the last time that we seen Geno Smith in a Raider uniform. And the irony in that, the last pass that he threw was picked. The irony in that may have been the last that we have seen of Geno Smith. And the way he walked off the football field too, he looked mad as fuck, like looking at the crowd like he looked pissed. But just the irony in that man threw a pick potentially on his last throw in a Raiders uniform. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I don't see it, Caps. And Tampa's not going to move off of him at all. From what I'm hearing, and there's reports coming out that he's safe. And Todd Bowles is a really good coach. I know they've had some injuries out there in Tampa Bay this year. They haven't really played at the highest of levels, but they still have a chance to win the division. If they beat the Panthers this weekend, they still win the division, and they could potentially go on a run. But I don't see Tampa moving on from Todd Bowles. I know the connection is there, but I don't see it happening at all. So, in that year when they won that championship, Bruce Arians was the head coach as well, right? I know Bowles was the DC out there, but Bruce Arians was the head coach. So, but I mean, other than that, you guys, like I said, there's no game balls. Genty had a rough game. He did have 60 yards on the ground on 16 carries, averaged 3.8 a clip. It was just a rough game all across the board. We didn't expect too much. Devin White went out there and led us in tackles. Again, 8 total, 4 solo. He had a QB hit as well. But there was really no pressure on the quarterback yesterday. Jackson Dart picked us apart. He had all the time in the world to use his legs, make any throw he wanted to. 22 for 30, 207 in the air. He had 0 touchdowns in the air, but he had 2 on the ground. And they had 155 yards on the ground against us. And they were one of the worst football teams against the run this year. I believe they were 31st going into yesterday's showdown at Allegiant Stadium. And we only put 63 yards on the ground collectively between Genty, Zamir White, Geno, and Trey Tucker. So nasty work. Another name to keep an eye on as well, you guys, going into the offseason. I know a lot of people may not think that this is a sexy pickup. Keep an eye on Wan'Dale Robinson, former Kentucky product. 11 catches yesterday, 113 yards. He also, I believe, went over 1,000 yards yesterday in the passing game, even on a down season there with the Giants. He is a free agent. So keep an eye on Wan'Dale Robinson. I know that we still have Trey Tucker, and they kind of have a similar, skill set. But this kid went over 1,000 yards. He went over 1,000 yards yesterday. Jackson's been in and out of the lineup. Russell Wilson's been out there. J-Mo's been out there. Keep an eye on him. Free agent, wide receiver, still young. I believe he's only, 24, 25 years old. I think his market value is somewhere around $14, $15 million per year. So I wouldn't be upset. I know he's small, and I know a lot of people, no, we don't need another small, wide receiver. But hey, an intriguing guy, another free agent that you could potentially look at if you don't want to pay high-end money for the likes of a George Pickens if he's available, or some of those guys. Because if not, you're looking at Pickens. If he's available, he's the creme de la creme. Or you're looking at the Christian Kirks of the world, the Wan'Dale Robinsons of the world. but I would definitely bring him in. I think that he is a phenomenal wide receiver. I was really, really high on him coming out of college. Joe, I like Alec Pierce. For those who watch this show since day one, I've been high on him since Cincinnati. I've been a major, major fan of Alec Pierce. The thing is, I don't want to pay him top wide receiver money. I think that Alec Pierce is going to command, and some people may disagree with me, $20 million. You're going to pay Alec Pierce pretty much Jacoby Myers money. And to me, I would rather not do that. If you're going to pay big money, get a number one guy. First and foremost, get your quarterback first. Get your quarterback first. Simple and plain. Like, you need to get that guy. You need to get that guy. But I don't want to pay $20 million. If you were going to do that, Joe, you could have just paid, Jacoby. You could have paid him that money and kept him around. And again, I know Alec Pierce is a lot younger, and youth is definitely on his side. And he's had a really good year out there in Indianapolis. But again, I don't want to pay him top money. And Juwan Jennings is cool, but I would rather not. I preferably go in another direction. Real talk. Pickens is still very, very young. He's one of the top wide receivers in football. If you know that you're going to go get Fernando Mendoza, if you know you're going to get your signal caller with the number one pick, I have no issue with going into free agency if Pickens is available and making him your number one guy. I don't care what anyone says. I know a lot of people think that, the effort isn't there sometimes. He may be a head case. Hey, man, shit. Show me 5 wide receivers that aren't head cases. You know what I mean? And even Puka is showing that there's something wrong upstairs with him. I mean, shit. Look at AJ Brown. He's complaining every single week. But if he gets his reps, he ain't tripping if they lose. You know what I mean? Show me some receivers that aren't head cases. Olave is not a great option, Rick. Honestly, I like Chris Olave, but he is one concussion away from retirement. And all signs are pointing towards the Saints bringing him back anyway. From what I've heard, and some of the reports that came out was that they're already working on an extension out there in New Orleans. But I would not want to bring Olave in. There's just too much. One more hit, man, and he may be out. That's like the Tua of the wide receiver position. It's kind of scary. But he's a great football player, definitely. Man, Rube is just bombing today. Got a hard-thinking question for you. Does Spy pick his guy at quarterback, or are we selling a coach on getting their quarterback? We need leverage to get a top coach, but also want Spy to get his guys. We know what it looks like when a coach doesn't like their quarterback. I think any coach that comes in, Rube, for an interview, because regardless, we have the number one pick, you guys. So it doesn't really matter what Spy Tech tells anybody. Like, there's no intel to hide. Like, if Shula or one of these guys comes in, he's going to say, this is what we're doing. Mendoza's our guy. Are you good with that? Because this is the direction we're going in. Like, it has to be the GM's decision. And I think that any guy that comes in is going to be happy with the fact that they're getting the top quarterback in the draft class. So I think it will be a collective, but I think more than anything, it's going to be a Spy Tech pick. Simple and plain. I think it's Spy Tech's. This is going to be Spy Tech's job. This is it. He's going to get his guy. Simple and plain. If we end up getting the number one spot. So I believe Spy is going to get his guy, and I think that whoever comes in is going to be on board with the fact that they're getting the best guy available. I don't think that he would bring in a LaFleur, because I think I know where you're getting at here, Rube. I don't think that he would bring in a LaFleur and say, hey, we'll go get a Dante Moore for you. If that's the way you want to go about this, West Coast offense, we'll go get you a guy that you think can potentially run this O. I don't think that that's the way that this is going to go. I think they're going to say, hey, we have our guy. Are you good with it? Because this is the direction we're going. Ultimately, Rube, I think it's a Brady and Spy Tech collective decision. Honestly, I do. That's what I think. But great question, man. Great question. But again, I think that any coach that's going to come in, the Kubiaks, the LaFleurs, the Shulas, can live with the fact that we are taking the number one quarterback at one, if that's the decision that's being made. I think any guy coming in can live with the fact. And I think that most guys that come in are already under the assumption that, oh, they're taking Mendoza. This is why I'm taking that interview. Honestly, I think that is I'm going to take that interview with the Raiders because of Brady and Spy Tech, but I'm also going to take it because I know that what they're doing here, they're going to get their guy. Rube, man, my brother, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. My dog came through and spent a couple $100 with his boy today. I really, truly appreciate you, brother. And thank you for all the fire questions that you're bringing to the chat, brother. Qua, salute soldiers. Can you tell me if it's not Davis, why did he let Bisaccia go after the job he did that year? He won splashed instead of a team competing because it wasn't the right hire. Qua. It wasn't. What happened when we let him go? He went right back to where he belongs as a special teams coach. Qua, you my dog, you my brother, love you, bro. And I know that, he helped lead that team into the playoffs in 2021. But again, do we have to go back and look at all those games and all those COVID scratches and all the backups that we had to face in order to climb into 10-7 into that wild card spot? Bro, he didn't get a head coaching job elsewhere. Bisaccia is a special teams guy. That's where he belongs. So that's why, because he's not head coach caliber guy. He came in and rallied these guys around each other during a really bad season where we lost Gruden, Ruggs. A ton of shit happened. But again, if he was a head coach elsewhere, Qua, let's just say he took the head coaching job with the Jaguars and turned that thing around and they're in the playoffs, we can have that conversation. But again, that would have been a terrible hire. That would have been AP before AP. It'd have been the same thing. Salute my guy Insight, man. Graphk, I think even if we don't get Mendoza, we will be good with Moore. He reminds me of Dak Prescott 3.0. Okay. Look, I think you win with either one of those guys. But again, I think that if you have the number one spot, I don't think they get cute. I think they go and take the 6'5" Heisman Trophy winner out of Indiana in Mendoza. But I hear you, my brother, and I'm not upset whatever direction they go. Just get me a quarterback. That's it. But I think, and I truly believe, and with some of the words that we're getting coming out of that building, it sounds like it's Mendoza or bust for Spy Tech and Brady. Rube, are you willing to lose out on a QBAC or a top coach if they say we're only taking the job if we get Mendoza and Spy as a Dante guy, hypothetically? Interesting question. I'll say this, Rube. Whoever takes the head coaching job next, everybody needs to be on the same page. So if you're not on the same page as Spy Tech and Brady, that's how I feel. Honestly, that's truly how I feel. And I'm not bashing Bisaccia, you guys. I like Bisaccia. I thought he did a great job. But again, he went back to where he needed to be, which is special teams. But I'm going to say this, Rube. I am backing Brady and Spy Tech's decision. If Kubiak doesn't want to be the coach because he didn't get his guy, it is what it is. Again, Spy Tech is going to be in year 2 as a GM. Brady has done some phenomenal things, in his football career. Kubiak will be a first-time head coach. And I know the Kubiak family, they've been around for a long time. But all I'm saying is this, bring in a head coach that is on the same accord with this GM in Tom Brady. I believe that they're going to already let their sentiments be heard immediately when they take these. This is who we're bringing in. Are you down with the cause or are you not? I truly just believe it's going to be Mendoza or bust. Appreciate you, Rube. Kenny, how about our number of comp picks? I believe we had 7 draft picks initially. I think we have 10 now. I think we have 3 or 4 comp picks. I think that's where we are right now. Raiders comp picks 2026. So we get primarily driven by the departure of safety Trayvon Merrick, potentially netting a 4th rounder with other losses like Nate Hobbs, Spillane, and Divine Diablo. So Merrick would get us a 4th. And remember, you guys, we have 3 4th-round picks. Robert Spillane and Diablo. Losses here are mostly negated by additions. Chin, Robert, Stokes. But potential playing time for additional additions could still yield a 5th or even a 7th rounder. Blah, blah. Summary, likely 1 4th-round pick. And possible addition is the 5th rounder with Spillane and then a 7th rounder for Diablo and Chasen. So There you have it. But we have a few. We have 10 total picks right now. 10 total picks right now. Salute to my guy, Rube, man. Alignment is key from top to bottom. I know coaches have egos when it comes to other guys. I hope we make the right hire and everyone is on the same page. Couldn't have said any better than my brother, Rube. This is facts, bro. Salute to you, man. Definitely all need to be on the same page. For once, let's get everybody in the, management, GM, Tom Brady, minority, get everybody on the same page, because most of the time, you guys, when everybody's on the same page, it equals success on the football field. Simple and plain. Graphk, do you think if Mendoza stays in college and Mendoza is the only quarterback that teams like, the Jets may offer a crazy trade for the number 1 pick? I'm talking like crazy, like 5 first. The Jets are the Jets, paper chase. So I can see them wilding, but I really believe that they secured those future first-round picks for 2027 because they're going to get their quarterback in 2027. I'm one of those guys where I don't really believe the hype that the Jets are going to get a quarterback. I don't. I think they're going to wait till next year. Honestly, I really believe them moving on from Quinnen Williams, them moving on from Sauce Gardner, getting all those future firsts, 3 of them in 2027. You think for once that they're going to go out there in a better quarterback class and waste a first rounder this year on a guy when they have 3 in next year's class? I don't think so. I think the Jets are going to get probably the best player available there. Maybe get another quarterback, in the mid rounds and bring in a bridge guy and just suffer another 17 games next year in order to get their guy next year with those 3 first-round picks. That's what I think. So I don't think that they're going to go all out this year. I truly don't believe it. And I think that some of their fans are delusional this year thinking that they're going to sell out. I don't think they're going to do that. 4-4. I still got a lot of love for Drew Allar. I would double dip. I'd bring Mendoza in and Drew Allar with one of those 4th-round picks. That's just me, though. Hit till you miss, or hit till you don't miss. Hit till you hit some. Swing till you hit some. Marvin, I think the Raiders and Giants could be chasing the same head coach. Securing the 1st overall help lean the favor towards the Raiders. Well, all rumors and reports are, Marvin, that they're trying to get Marcus Freeman from my beloved Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which I don't see that happening at all. And other than that, I don't know what other head coaches they could potentially be looking at. I'm assuming that they would probably bring in a young, fresh, offensive-minded guy to help develop Jackson Dart. But I don't know. They're the Giants. They make crazy decisions all the damn time. But their number 1 option apparently is Marcus Freeman, who I don't even believe is going to be available. I think he's going to be very upset next year with how the playoffs worked out with the Notre Dame shit. And I think that he's going to want to make a statement next year to go out there and win a national title. Rico, merry belated Xmas and happy new year to you and the fam. What do you think about going after Devin Lloyd? Would be a massive upgrade at linebacker. I would love it, Rico. I think that would be one of the best pickups in the offseason. Best pickups in the offseason, because you have Tommy Eichenberg and Lindenberg essentially under contract. All these other guys are gone. They're all on 1-year deals. Landon, Jamal Adams. I would love to bring in Devin Lloyd. It's all starting to click finally for the young, former Utah first-round guy. And he's a guy that can get it done in coverage. I would love it. I think that he would kind of help shore up that second level of our defense. So that'd be great. And then again, this is a deep linebacking class. So could you imagine Rico going and getting Devin Lloyd, paying him, big bucks, making him one of the highest paid linebackers in football, and then going to get a Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech? Honestly, your linebacker core changed drastically immediately when you bring in the likes of, or even a Allen from Georgia. Let's just say you go get Allen from Georgia. You have Devin Lloyd, and you still got Tommy Eichenberg and Lindenberg. And Tommy Eichenberg has been phenomenal this year in special teams. I believe he's like one of the top guys in terms of tackles. He has like 21, 22 tackles on the special team side of things. So I would love it. I think that'd be a great target to bring in. And we're going to talk about him a ton in the offseason for sure. Shane, hell no. Kyler Murray, no. Once again, how many times have you heard Tom Brady say, that the most successful quarterbacks are 6'2" and up? Kyler Murray is like 4'10". Makes no sense. and then you're going to have to move a bunch of draft capital to go get him and inherit that nasty contract with the injuries that come with him too? Hell no. No, sorry, bye. Rule, are the Browns moving on for Stefanski? I feel like them and the Giants would have a more desirable roster than ours unless a coach doesn't want to be married to Browns quarterback situation. That could be a name to monitor for the Giants. I've actually seen him kind of be kind of placed in that Giants bubble. And isn't he from that area? Isn't he from Jersey? I think he's from that area. Kevin Stefanski. I want to see. I swear he's from Jersey. Born in Philadelphia. St. Joseph's, Philadelphia. Let me see. Well, he's from that area, up there in that area. Trying to see early life, personal life. Whoa. But I know there's a connection there somehow, some way. But look, that'd be cool. That'd actually be, I think he would work wonders with Jackson Dart. What's the one knock on him out there with Cleveland is that offense, man, that just not being able to locate the quarterback. They don't know what they have with Shador yet. I don't think Dylan Gabriel's the guy at all. And Deshaun Watson's back next year. So we'll see. But that would be an interesting match right there. Stefanski going to the Giants. That'd be a great pickup because they have a ton of talent on the defensive side of the football. You know, they have a ton of talent on the offense. They can go get one of the better wide receivers in this draft, whether it's Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, one of those guys, and build that O-line in front of Jackson Dart. I think that'd be a great move, Ro, for sure. And I've seen a few reports of him potentially going out there. Justin Baby Freeman told ESPN he's staying at Notre Dame this morning. And he said this several times. Justin, he said it, I believe, on Good Morning America or whatever the hell he was on, that he's going to go back to Notre Dame. So there's no signs of him wanting to leave Notre Dame at all. So salute to everybody here in the building. Let me see. I'm going to bring this up real quick as well, you guys. We're going to do one mock draft on the way out real quick. Let me get this out of here. We're going to talk about this real fast too, real quick. I've seen a lot of people freaking out about the whole Max Crosby thing. We've talked about this shit ad nauseum over here. Jay Glazer over at Fox Sports again yesterday said that this is what he had to say on Fox Sports. I've been on the phone with Max a bunch over the last couple of days. Glazer said on the Fox pregame show, he is not happy. Okay. He's not happy. Crosby said that he's been playing with a knee injury for most of the year. He first appeared on the injury report with a knee injury in week 5. He played in every game. Crosby shared his reaction to the Raiders with Glazer. Absolutely not, Crosby said. Per Glazer, I play football. There's no shutting it down for me. I want to be out there. I want to be out there with my teammates. Glazer capped his report by explaining when Crosby's name emerged as a potential trade option, Crosby told the team he does not want to leave. And there was another report that dropped this offseason that he said by any means necessary, he does not want to leave Las Vegas at all. You've got to wonder now if that still holds true. So, you know, Jay Glazer doing his best at kind of, you know, creating a narrative out there that Max is upset and that he didn't play football. Look, man, this is Max's bread and butter. He loves to play ball. You know, this is what he does, okay? Football is his life outside of his wife and kids, his family. Football is his everything, okay? There's reports already that came out today. He's back in the building today. Pete Carroll did say that he would be back in the building. It's okay for your guy to be upset. It's okay for him to be mad about not going out there and playing these last 2 games with his teammates. Essentially, this is the last chance that he potentially gets to go play with Jamal Adams, Devin White, and some of these other guys that he may have good relationships with. I understand the sentiment of him being pissed off. Look, this initial shock of him not playing will wear off eventually. We'll go into the offseason with hopes of having the number 1 pick and a better head coach in the building. And Max will be bought in, okay? So this is the thing. Let's stop talking about this and making this thing bigger than what it needs to be. Yes, he was a little petty, posting videos, playing basketball, jumping on the trampoline. Hey, man, look, what do you expect these guys to do? They have to get this shit off somehow, some way. Just because they're athletes doesn't mean that they can't kind of put shit out there without – he's pissed. Let him do that. Let him do that. He didn't shit on anybody. He didn't say F the Raiders. He didn't say any of that. He just threw a couple things out there and, basically like, look, I could have played through these next 2 weeks. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, until Max asks to get out of Las Vegas, I'm not even going to entertain the fact that he's gone. He has said this countless times. He wants to be a Raider. He wants to retire a Raider, and this is where he wants to be. Okay? So whatever Jay Glazer had to say, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, just an offseason ago, you guys, Max was letting it be known that he wants to be a Raider. This is where he wants to be. Nothing has changed. Yes, he was forced to sit out for 2 weeks for the betterment of this football team and the future of this football team. It is what it is. And I love that Spytech and Brady and company took the wheel on this and made him do that. Because, again, we gained nothing from Max Crosby going out there and getting, another 2 or 3 sacks before the season ends, or him going out there and potentially hurting his knee even more. And just imagine him, God forbid something happens to that knee the last week of the season. He may be held out going into the regular season next year. So let's pump the brakes here, man. It makes no sense at all to even freak out over this. And again, I'm not going to freak out about anything with Max moving forward. I want Max to be a Raider. He wants to be a Raider. If it's time to move on, great. You get a couple first round picks and potentially another player or two to help build this thing up. We're in a great position with Max Crosby, you guys. Regardless, if he stays, great. You got your leader in the building. He's going to set the tone on that defensive side of the ball. He's going to set the tone in the locker room. If not, you move on. You continue to rebuild. You get a couple of draft picks, and you build this thing up. There's no wrong way to go about this. It's just not. You have them, great. You don't, great. It is what it is. Last I checked, this guy is going to his 5th straight Pro Bowl. He'll be all right. So let Max lash out a little bit. Let him vent. Let him post videos. Let him do what he wants to do. Because at the end of the day, if he wants to be here in the building, which I believe he does, come week 1, star edge rusher is going to be out there ready to take off. Just is what it is. But at the end of the day, get your guy healthy. Get Brock healthy. Get those guys healthy. Because I think that Spytech and Brady believe they have a plan that they're going to execute this offseason where they believe that they're going to be able to compete next year. Really compete. Not compete, but compete. So there it is. That's all I had to say about the whole Max situation. Salute to my guy. Okay, read that just then, baby. Appreciate you, brother. You guys want to do a mock draft also on the way out? We can definitely do one. Let me see. I wanted to read this real quick too. Hold on. I wanted to read this real quick, you guys. This quote from CBS Sports that came from Pete Prisco speaking about the Raiders. This is what he had to say yesterday after the Raiders game. They are thrilled today that they have the #1 overall pick. Prisco said on the December 28th edition of CBS Sports HQ, they sat Max Crosby down. You think he wanted to play today? Of course he did. Why did you sit him down? You're tanking. You want the #1 overall pick? Well, they got it. Right now, they have it. You think they're going to beat the Chiefs next week? No matter what happens, they're not beating the Chiefs. They want Fernando Mendoza. They're going to get Fernando Mendoza. They're going to have the #1 overall pick, and they're going to cure their quarterback problem. They're going to cure their quarterback problem. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. And let me see what trade line. This is what I wanted to bring up in terms of Max, and we'll get off the whole Max discussion as well. This was a quote that came from Jay Glazer, I believe, last offseason in terms of Max Crosby. He previously resisted a trade. Remember at the trade deadline, I said that Max Crosby told me he didn't want to go anywhere. He told me the team he doesn't want to, he told me and the team he doesn't want to get traded anywhere else. I don't know if that's still the case. I think there's still some massaging that needs to happen. So again, remember this quote, you guys, that Max has told these guys several times he wants to remain a Raider. That's it. Wanted to read that. We're cool. We can move off from it. Again, no game balls from yesterday's game, you guys. I'm going to give one to Michael Mayer, the only player that really stood out to me yesterday. 9 catches, 89 yards on 10 targets. Salute to my guy, Notre Dame Fighting Irish's own Michael Mayer, doing really good business with the absence of Brock Bowers out there with the knee injury. Now let's get to this quick mock draft before we get out of here, you guys. Salute to the 1,300 people still strong. You guys are the greatest. The greatest. Boom. Go to mock draft simulator. Oh, no, I'm not going to do this one. Going to go Raiders. We're going to go 7 rounds. Going to go fast. And you guys are probably going to see a lot of the same names that I've taken before because, again, I have specific players in mind that I think that can help come turn this thing around in Las Vegas. So, boom, boom. We're not doing any trades. We're rejecting that. We're going to reject all this shit. All right. Raiders at number 1. Guess what we do? Dun, da, da, da. From Mendoza. You get your quarterback. No more playing around. You have your guy of the future, okay? We're going to reject this. Future second. Hide that. Now, Chris Bell was an intriguing prospect. I believe he tore his ACL. He's going to probably miss some time next year. I don't know when he's going to be available. I could be wrong, you guys. He could be prepared and ready to go come week 1. He's a stud out there at Louisville, but I'm not taking a receiver this early. Blake Miller is right there at right tackle. Again, you may miss out on Braden Smith. You may look at DJ Glaze at this point as a guard. So you could potentially just go get Blake Miller right there. Miller time, opposite of Colton Miller. Do you get your tackle right here? We shall see. Let's look at some more players available still. Chase is there, the guard out of Texas A&M. I don't think that guard is necessarily a major need for us. Kenyatta Jackson is there, man. Another edge rusher. Mason Thomas, another edge rusher. Those are intriguing prospects. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to play around. I'm just going to go get me a tackle right here in the draft. So you got, guess what? You got your quarterback of the future. You have your right tackle of the future with Blake Miller. And and down the line, when we move on from Colton, hopefully Charles Grant can be that guy opposite of Blake Miller at left tackle. No futures, no. And I'm never doing business with the Niners anyways. Isaiah World is still there at tackle. Great ball player, but don't need another tackle here. Skylar Bell is a baller. I know a lot of people, small school, UConn. He broke all kind of records up there this year. He had a really bad bowl game this weekend, though. And, but I don't think you necessarily need to go Skylar Bell there. We got both Elijah Sarah there and Omar Cooper Jr. D'Angelo Pons is there. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to get his number 1 wide receiver. I know you guys may not agree with this, but we have 3 picks next year or in the next round. I'm going to go get my receiver right now. Give your guy Fernando Mendoza his number 1 target at Indiana. Pick 105. You can move back 4 and pick up another one. Let's see what we got right here. Damn, I could have took Branch right here. I wanted Branch, but you know what? It is what it is. But I am going to actually move 4 spots, pick up another one. I'm going to accept that. Branch is still available. He's still available. But you don't need another receiver. Let me see. Lance Hurd is still there, the tackle out of Tennessee. I could take Rutledge right here. The guard out of Georgia Tech. Johnson's there, the safety out of Utah. Let me keep going. I'm looking for my guy here. Harold Perkins is still there. I'm probably going to double dip right there. All right, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to defense. I'm going to go to corner. Get the Carriel still there. All right, let me go to linebacker. I'm getting Jacob Rodriguez. Reject. Go to all. All right, we need a corner. We need an edge rusher. Malachi Lawrence is right there out of UCF. Man, Let me see. Aiden Fisher is there. We already got us a linebacker here. I could get a center here in Logan Jones out of Iowa. Let me see. Jack Kelly's still there. I can double dip at linebacker again if I want to, too. Take it, Damani. Give me a corner right here. Oh. Nah, not going to do it. Clev is there. Might have to give me an edge rusher here. Let me see. Looking down. Zane Durant is their defensive tackle. I need to get a running back as well. I can get him in another round, though. I'll go ahead and give me an edge. I'm going to get Clev there. All right. Let's see what we got so far, you guys. We have our quarterback. We have Blake Miller at right tackle. Elijah Sarek, we got right there. Number 1 target for Fernando Mendoza, Indiana. We got Jacob Rodriguez there at 105. Damani Jackson, who is a stud. I think he is very underrated going into this class. Clev Lubin right there, the edge rusher out of Louisville. So we can use a defensive tackle. I want to double dip at corner as well. We can use a tackle. We can use another corner. We can use a safety, which I'm going to get later. I can get Keontae Scott right here. I could just double dip right here, right now. But you know what? I'm going to go down. I like our young defensive tackles. I'm not going to jump the gun here, you guys. We got Booker coming back, restricted free agent. You got JJ Pegues. You know, you got Tonka Hemingway, who could play inside and out. You know, you could bring Lalu back. I don't think there's necessarily – Adam Butler's still under contract. You don't need to reach for a defensive tackle here. Let me see. I could take my guy, and I always do this. I could take Trey, the guard out of Texas A&M right here. I could take him and just say, you know what it is? Well, he's a big body dude too. Or I could double dip here at a quarterback position. I can get the safety right here too. You know what? I'm going to get me a safety. I should get a safety. I don't know why Romello Height is here, you guys. He should be a first round, second round pick. I'm going to be realistic here. I'm not going to take him here because I don't know what the hell they're thinking. He is not going to be available at all. I'm going to double dip here at corner because Stokes may not come back. And you got Porter and DCAM. I might just double here at corner. I'm going to reject that. And let me see. I could get a guard, but again, got Jackson Powers Johnson, got Caleb Rogers, got Laki Tasi potentially. I'm going to take my safety. Back to back to back. And this is where y'all going to hate me. I should take Drew Allar here. You know what? You got your franchise quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, man. Don't need to play around. Let me go get my running back. Oh, I may have to go get Noah right here. Got to have another guy that's a sparring partner for your guy, Ashton Genty. Could take Le'Veon Moss here. I can wait. Let me see. We got 3 more picks. Okay, so I can wait right here at the running back position. Let me go back to wide receiver. I'm going to see if we can double dip here. Y'all going to hate me right here. Would you double dip at wide receiver? Would you double dip at wide receiver? Malachi Fields is a stud, you guys. I'm telling y'all now, he is a stud. He is a stud. Dude's a baller. All right, let me see. I'll go back to defense then. We'll get back to the defensive side of the ball. Oh, Red Murdoch is there. Already got us a safety. Romello Height is not going to be here, you guys. So I'm just not going to take him here. Okay. Again, he's a first, second round type guy. You know what? I don't know why. Hey, Curry's here. Curry's here. All right. Now we can double dip here at the quarterback position if we wanted to, or we can go get a running back. Get another linebacker. Let's see. I'm looking. Maybe get another edge here. Or we can get some offensive line help right here as well. Could get Greg Johnson out of Minnesota. Could go get Jamarion Miller. Let me see. I'm going to take my running back here. I could take Caden right here as well. I'm going to take my running back. And I'm going to like Mike Washington Jr. I'm going to give me a running back here, you guys. Big, tall running back next to Ashton Genty. I'm going to get the kid out of Arkansas. And then right here with the last pick, Tevin Coleman is still available, huh? All right. Could get a defensive tackle right here. Could get Moden. Let me see. I'm looking, y'all. I'm looking. I may just double dip here at the edge position. You know what? I'll go get me a guard. Keep it simple, stupid here. Give me a guard. All right. What do you guys think right here? What do you think about this draft? We got Fernando Mendoza, quarterback 1. Blake Miller, right tackle. Your starter, your future there on the right side. Once again, you can kick DJ Glaze into guard. That makes the guard spot even deeper with Caleb Rogers, JPJ, potentially Laki Tasi and company, right? Then we can still pick another one up in free agency if we choose to. We got Elijah, man, the number 1 target there for Fernando Mendoza at Indiana. Nothing like having a guy come in, from your former, school, come into the NFL level with you and be that kind of security blanket for you at the wide receiver position. Jacob Rodriguez, to me, stud. One of the better linebackers here in football out of Texas Tech. It's going to be fun watching him against Oregon January 1st. Damani Jackson, I'm telling you right now, he could be a stud. Very athletic. Out of Alabama. Got Cleve Lubin right there, the edge rusher out of Louisville. Needed to get somebody because Malcolm Kuntz is a free agent. Tyree Wilson, we're not going to pick up that 5th-year option. He won't be around for too much longer. We still have Brennan Jackson, you guys, on the IR. We can bring him back next year. He could potentially be a rotational guy for us on the edge also. Got Kalante Scott, corner, Miami. Double dip right there. So now we got 2 guys that you can add to Porter and DCAM and not potentially, but go get you another body in free agency as well. You got to go get you a veteran there in free agency, spend some money there. I always butcher his name. Michael Taffy, the safety out of Texas. This is Hammer's guy. Athletic, a guy that can play some special teams for you off the rip and potentially maybe lock down a starting safety spot for you. Again, I don't think he'll start from scratch, but I do believe he can be a guy to go out there, give you some special teams reps and potentially turn into a spot starter at the bare minimum, or can be a starter for you. I don't know how Caden Curry was there. Again, I took the kid out of Ohio State. I don't know if he's going to be available that late, but he was there. So could you imagine getting him and Cleve with Max Crosby out there? That would be fun to watch. Mike Washington Jr., the big 6'2" running back out of Arkansas, to pair, with your Marshawn Lynch, your small, compact running back in Ashton Genty, and then got DJ Campbell out of Texas, kind of a project guard that you can try to develop on the practice squad and see if you have anything there. What do you guys think about this draft? Salute to 2-4, my guy. GM, Graphk Raider. I'm here for it. Salute to my dog. Appreciate you, brother, as always. Need to take another O-line higher, 100, but I like it. I'll say this. We took one in the second round. And again, you have a ton of guards. Are you going to, at what point, Daniel, are we going to develop these guys? You got Caleb Rogers, you got DJ Glaze on a rookie deal, which they're probably going to move to the guard spot. You know, you can look at him as a guard. Again, like, we need to develop some of these guys. You got Laki Tassi on the roster, Jackson Powers Johnson on a rookie deal, who may be a guard to the next regime as well. You got to develop some of these guys. So I don't want to take two guys early. You still have some. And then you got some big money to spend in free agency. So I think we pretty much attacked every spot. You got your quarterback, right tackle, got another receiver who could potentially be a wide receiver one, got you a linebacker, you know, to add with Tommy Eichenberg and Lindenberg, and then go get maybe a Devin Lloyd or one of those guys in free agency. Got a corner, got two corners, two edge rushers, got a safety. I didn't get a defensive tackle. And again, the reason why I did not get a defensive tackle, you guys, is I want to see what JJ Pegues can do, what Tonka Hemingway can do, another guy that can give you some edge, kick in and kick out. I want to see what, if we keep Jonah Lalu around, Thomas Booker, restricted free agent. You got to develop some of these young guys. So I think this is a good draft. I think this is a good draft right here. Danny said you can never have enough good offensive linemen. I mean, of course. I mean, bro, I got two of them here. I got two of them here after a draft where we took two last year. So, but there you have it. We're coming up on 2 hours, you guys. We're just having fun over here today. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, we are 1 week away from our season being over and potentially securing that #1 pick to go ahead and get our quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, out of Indiana. You guys, on the way out, I want to say this one more time because we spent a lot of time at the beginning. Don't let anybody tell you how to fan. All right? Don't let anybody tell you how to fan. If you want us to lose to secure that #1 spot, cheer. It is what it is. Because guess what? We're all honestly cheering. It's like that mask emoji. It's like we're smiling, but we're really mad under it because we're all upset, right? We're all pissed off. You think that any of us really want to truly root against our football team? Like, honestly, do you think anybody truly wants to root against this football team? No, it's the mask emoji where it's smiling over here and we're pissed off over here. But again, this is all that we can be happy about. And right now we have an opportunity with the new GM to go get his new quarterback, go get his head coach, his hand-picked head coach, and we can start building this thing the right way. You know what I mean? So don't let anybody tell you how to fan. I understand that some fans may not want to see other fans. Do you think I enjoy uploading clips of me rooting for the Giants to beat my football team? Do you think that I enjoy that? Fuck no. But I also see that there's a bigger picture out there. I also see that the grass may be greener on the other side here if we lose these next 2 games. I just hope that some people grasp that concept as we're not rooting for this team to lose. We're actually rooting for this team to win in the long term. We're playing a long game right here, you guys. Because again, I've said it a million times over here at this channel. Nobody is going to remember a win against the Giants and a win against the Chiefs, who were sitting everybody else their damn selves at the end of the season, especially if the Jets or whoever it is, the Arizona Cardinals get Fernando Mendoza and he ends up being the #1 quarterback in the league. Could you imagine rooting for this team to win the last 2 games and then Fernando Mendoza becomes the next star quarterback? Then what? Could you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So again, for those who are saying that we're fake fans and that turn in your shield, get rid of your merchandise, stop wearing Raiders shit. If we draft Fernando Mendoza, keep that same energy. Don't go buy his jersey. Don't root for him. Because if you won those 2 games, guess what? You wouldn't have got him. Keep that same fucking energy. You want us to root for a team that for 2 meaningless games? Well, guess what? When we get Fernando Mendoza and he becomes something special, or Dante Moore, one of those guys, and they become special and they become that guy, we finally get our quarterback of the future. Shut up. I personally don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So other than that, man, love and appreciate you all. Have a blessed day. We will be active all week long. Graphk and Wasted and Graphk show coming. I'll definitely try to get Stu on this week somehow, some way talking about, this season. We'll go over a recap and all that other good stuff. And we got some other good shows on the way as well. Me and Hammer will be calling the Chiefs game this Sunday, so tap in. But other than that, you guys, if we do not see each other in the next few days, which we should, have a phenomenal New Year's. Be safe, you guys. Enjoy your families. And let's put this year behind us and let's move on to, greener pastures, man, in 2026. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys, as always. Love, 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 love. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Also, hit that like button, wipe them feet. Appreciate you guys. One.